Hello, everybody. I'm Alice Anarchy. This is a true story, a resurrection, a warning. It's called I Am a God. I am a god, yes, a god, but don't think of Michelangelo's man touching fingers across chapel ceilings. Think of whiskey spilled on scripture, divinity whispered in the margins of bathroom stalls and lipstick graffiti. Epithets scratched behind half-finished prayers, my name scrawled like a curse they couldn't undo. Think of deity as diagnosis, as pharmacy-wrapped revolution, godhood injected, perfected, chemically resurrected. In motel rooms baptized in neon, mirrors cracked under the weight of a gender the prophets forgot to imagine, or refused to acknowledge out of fear it might speak back. I wasn't born, I was erupted. Spontaneous combustion of pronouns, gender conjugated violently against the verb to obey, to behave, to belong. They said boy, they meant cage. I said girl, and I meant knife. I meant a claw mark, meant bloom in places the world declared sterile, an uninvited miracle sprouting in a room full of silence. You called it transition, but I prefer blasphemy with benefits. HRT-infused heresy, apostasy and lipstick. Not passing, but trespassing. Not a phase, but a full-blown pharmacological apocalypse. My womanhood, a controlled substance cathedral built brick by brick out of prescription pads. Prayers the pharmacist whispered to herself at midnight as she counted pills shaped suspiciously like salvation. Each one a sacrament, each refill a rite. Oh yes, I am a god. But not because I pray, but because I answered. Because I stole fire from altars and wore it as eyeliner. Because divinity is just another side effect of mixing estrogen and exile, dopamine and disobedience, a mad scientist of identity, chemistry, cooking myself in a spoonful of sacred rage because godhood was never granted, it was taken, with teeth bared and a laugh that shook like stained glass. I exist as transubstantiation, gender transposed like jazz chords at midnight, womanhood improvised on stage, and a bass line of dysphoria looped into a hypnotic rhythm, truth told in tongues foreign to Sunday school ears, mumbling messiah in the manic light of makeup counters, lipstick samples as sacred relics. Prayers I learned to say backwards. In high school hallways, holy locker room hymns composed by survivors fluent only in silence and screams, the ones who made eye contact with extinction and kept walking. My childhood wasn't a boyhood. It was a rehearsal for revolution, preparation for prophethood, education in heretical linguistics, spelling tests on slurs, conjugations of pain into first-person pronouns I, me, and mine. My ownership's reclaimed, scripture rewritten, a blasphemy so eloquent it redefines salvation. A dialect of survival spoken in whispers and screamed when necessary. God drinks because I exist, and hell shakes because I smile. The prophets didn't predict my coming, they censored it. Scrubbed me from the sacred text and hoped the footnotes would stay quiet, but you can't footnote a flood. And you can't erase the girl who wrote her own resurrection and eyeliner and epinephrine. You see, I am the patron saint of the unwanted, of the unnamed, of the unreadable, of every gender written in the margins and then crossed out in red. Every prayer mouthed through gritted teeth because softness was a liability. Every mirror that cracked not from vanity but from too much truth trying to look back. My birth was the messiest immaculate conception ever blessed by a confused pharmacist and a terrified therapist. And still I rise, half miracle, half warning, and fully aware of the chaos I carry. So kneel, if you must, but keep your worship messy. Keep it honest. Speak my name as a sacrilege. Spit hymns onto stained glass mirrors. Trace scripture along every claw mark I left in your beliefs. And if you find yourself afraid, know you finally understood. Because the truth is, if God may be wrong, then why do I keep coming out this divine? I don't have very good fingers.
You have great words.
Yeah. I can say that wasn't enough. Here's what they tried to name me, and I'm going to tell you the rest. I've been called a lot of things: freak, boy, mistake, abomination, statistical anomaly. Father's disappointment, mother's closed eyes, walking contradiction, walking liability, walking sin. I answer to none of them. Instead, I rename myself Claw Mark, love poem that bites, siren song in a minor key, patron saint of the unwanted and the unrepentant. Gender with its back arched, God in red, God in ruin, God with teeth. I've worn every slur like a second skin. I've peeled it off, turned it inside out, made it into a flag that only the brave can carry. They said, why can't you just be normal? And I tried. I said, she died. They said, you're just doing this for attention. And I said, then why are you still looking? They said, you'll never be a real woman. And I said, good, I'd rather be unforgettable. I built my gender out of everything you were too cowardly to love. I've lit candles for my past selves, kissed the bruises they left behind, and called them beautiful with my whole fucking chest. I screamed, I am, louder than the voice that once told me not to be. And now I walk. Like every hallway is mine, like every stair is a question I've already answered, like the word divine was waiting for me to pronounce it correctly. So you add my name to your list of things that you fear, but you cannot touch me. Write it in a permanent marker across your bathroom mirror. Tattoo it inside your mouth. Let it echo off the walls long after I've left the room. Because I'm not going anywhere. Not now, not never, not after all of this. I buried too many versions of myself to stop rising now, but still, you didn't listen. So let me make sure you never forget. And if you didn't hear me the first time, let me say it again. I am a god. Not a theory, not a threat, not your teaching moment, not your fucking redemption project. I am the warning label you tore off and swallowed the pill. They said they would make me disappear, and I digested it and came back even stronger. Taller, softer, sharper, louder. I am not your he, not your used to be, not your close enough, not your almost. I am not on my way. I am already here. You don't get to misname me and survive it. You don't get to doubt me and walk away clean. You don't get to worship silence and then flinch when a girl like me starts to sing. I am not beautiful. I'm biblical. I am every plague dressed in satin, every flood in red heels. I am the voice that splits the sea. I am the fucking sea. You want real? Here's real. I've screamed into pillows that remembered me. I've bled into clothing that betrayed me. I've sat across from men who said you'll never be and watched their knees tremble as I became everything. I am what you see. When the closet door swings open and it's not a child in there, it's a god in a skirt with revenge in her purse. You don't have to believe in me, but you will remember me. You will remember the sound I made when I rose, not pretty, not quiet, but holy. Now say my name. Say it right. Say it loud. Say it like a hen that bit you back. Say it like you know who I am. Say it like your reflection is listening. Say it like the glass might never answer. Say it like it's the last truth you've got. Say, I am a god.
Can we please give it up one more time?